everybody, and welcome to week number 7, our last week together. Boy, time flies. So, a few things about this week. Of course, the big assignment is due at the end of week 7. We had an optional Zoom call last week. I've recorded the audio from that. That's in the course news and bulletins. There's a supplementary document intended to help you with the week 7 assignment that's in the course news and bulletins as well. So if you have any questions, any concerns, please let me know, and I'll be happy to address them throughout the week. You can get a hold of me on email or through the messenger option within Moodle. And of course, as always, the notes I took on the course readings for week 7 are posted now in the course news and bulletins. Week 7, we have 2 outcomes. Understand how the decision-making process can be a proactive way to engage stakeholders, and also create a framework for collaborating with stakeholders in developing a decision-making process. So really, this week, a big theme is that throughout the course, we've been talking about the importance of engaging stakeholders, but really, much like the week 7 assignment, the cumulative assignment, let's get into the how this week. It's easy to say, yes, we should, and here's the theory on why it's important, but I really wanted to end the course, end with the last assignment and the discussion this week on really getting into exactly how might that look, as opposed to, yes, it's a good idea in theory. So keep that in mind. So again, as per the unit notes, we've been examining different tenets of stakeholder engagement throughout the course. One piece of the engagement process that remains unclear is exactly how stakeholders are engaged in the decision-making process. What might collaborative activities actually look like? So again, getting back to that really proactive, which is one of the articles, of course, but pragmatic implementation. So I have here this week's readings provide criteria that can apply to decision-making processes organizations embark on with stakeholders. For example, with the Ali article, there's all kinds of graphic organizers that he's created. These criteria are intended to be proactive and frame decision-making process as collaborative opportunities, where there's not a perception that some have to give up power. Rather, stakeholders are involved in decision-making processes that honor their intrinsic value to the organization. So again, we have 3 readings for this week. One, of course, is a book review. That's chapter 6 from the Transaol book, but the book review itself is done by Stellar, and it's about improving parental involvement, of course. We have the reading, of course, by Ali, where he really digs into one case specifically and defines characteristics of proactive stakeholder organizations. And then, of course, the other reading is from McDonald, Clark, and Hung from 2019. So they talk about bringing together the knowledge and resources of many stakeholders. So I wanted to talk for just a moment about the 2 DQs. DQ1 is pretty direct. It's a very specific question, and it doesn't take long to write. Think about a major decision that happened within your organization. How were stakeholders involved in it? So you're going to talk about something that happened in your organization, whether you were a leader, whether you weren't, doesn't really matter. What was a major decision that's happened that you've seen, and how were stakeholders engaged? It's a great idea to describe that and then lay it beside the theory for the week. And here's how it matches up with what Ali was saying or what was said, in the McDonald et al. Article. So don't just describe it, also link it back to theory. DQ2, as per this week's readings, one basic criteria for decision making is outlining a transparent process for how a decision will be made. Creating such a process collaboratively could be an opportunity to proactively engage stakeholders, leading to a perception of ownership in the process, making them feel like valued contributors to the decision-making process. What is one strategy an organization could use with stakeholders in developing a decision-making process? So rather than just saying, here's how we're going to involve you, which right away creates a different sort of power dynamic, how do you involve stakeholders in saying, how could we create a decision-making process? Again, trying to involve people and making sure they're empowered throughout the process. So try to get specific, describe one, and then talk about, again, how it links back to some of the theory that you've seen. So hope you have a great week 7. I'll see you on the DQs. And again, let me know if you have any questions in regards to the final assignment. Thanks, folks.